First, Paul, Nottingham Forest away to Dundalk. Your thoughts on that?
I'm delighted for Jordan. He's had a lot of bad luck, hasn't he, in terms of injuries and the car accident that he was involved in. He's a really good lad, good Wigan lad. Do you know, he's been out on loan. He goes to a good club in Dundalk now, a very strong club in the League of Ireland, and we really wish Jordan well. He's a superb lad, and he'd be always welcome back at the DW, that's for sure.
He's one player heading out. I know you brought Devante Cole and Jimmy Walker. They've come back. Do you want to maybe send him out on
I think you've got to be careful, because especially at this time now, all the questions will go about certain players. I'd rather, if we've got stuff to announce, we'll announce it, certainly on Jordan. On the rest of the lads and speculation, I really would rather not get involved, if that's okay, because it'll just be going from player to player. So while there's a lot going on behind the scenes at the minute, Jordan's obviously departed, you know, around that there's not a lot much else that I can add at the minute.
Looking at
That's killed you, hasn't it? Absolutely killed you.
What do you think about me going
Love that. You've got right on your back foot. So let's go on to the away form. Come on.
Before we reach the away form, your reflections on Sheffield Wednesday.
Very disappointed at Sheffield Wednesday. It really was. You know, to hit the heights we hit against Aston Villa, to then go away from home and perform like we did. It was really disappointing for me. It was a disappointing. I'm sure our fans travelled in great hope the same. You know, unfortunately we couldn't hit them heights and we couldn't replicate the performance, and that was the most disappointing thing. You know, around that we move on. We go to another tough game tomorrow, Nottingham Forest away. You know, and it's a game that we're determined and we want to do well in. We've had a good training week in looking at form, identifying problems we've had, looking for patterns in the results, looking for the reasons why we've had 8 one-goal losses in the league. We've been in depth, we've studied, you know, the results at Norwich away, you know, 86-minute goals. Everett, we've been in depth with Everett. We're desperately wanting to put this right for our supporters. We really do. And we want to put it right for ourselves, because the home form and the away form are too contrasting for me. They're too contrasting. You can't have the home form that we've got, which at the minute's keeping us up or keeping us in the division, and the away form where the same players, the same information, the same lads that were doing so well last year, you know, we're just falling short, and we're just falling short by margins, and that's the disappointment. How can we affect them margins? I would like to tell you I found out, but at least our supporters know that that's what we're trying to do.
I was going to say, you must be racking your brains as to that sort of Jekyll and Hyde sort of...
Well, you'd always have to, you know, now and again you've got to hold your hands up if you felt you're not good enough. I always think to myself, in football today, people can look for excuses, tactics, formations, whatever you want to do. Now and again, I think when you hold your hands up, you come off a pitch and you go, someone was better than you that day. I think, has that been the case with us away from home? I'm not so sure. You know, we've dropped points in games this season, away from home especially, where we should be coming off. Is that due to our younger lads' inexperience? Maybe. Maybe there's things out there that, you know, but I think as manager and the rest of the stuff, we've got to search for them solutions, because if we can't tidy our away form up, it would turn into a very good first season in the Championship for Wigan Athletic.
It's a huge game, of course, tomorrow, but against a Forest side, has it been difficult to sort of guess how they're going to line up, given that Martin Neil's just came in there?
Not really. I think Martin's a proven, very successful manager. I think they've got a calibre of player, Nottingham Forest, that's there for everybody to see. If they decide to play with Daryl Murphy and Grabban up front, they're good players, aren't they? So whatever Martin decides to do, that's Martin's business. He's a very experienced manager. Nottingham Forest, a very strong club. Not dissimilar to Sheffield Wednesday last week, where the craving success, the fans again support the teams through thick and thin. There's that many clubs now we speak about in the Championship that are very similar. You know, Forest fall into the Sheffield Wednesdays, and you know, the Aston, all these Leeds, they're there every week now. You know, and it's hard because in the pursuit of success sometimes it's leading to what goes on at these clubs, and whether that's right or wrong is not my place to say. You know, but certainly they've got a manager in Martin O'Neill who's very experienced with a proven track record. So I'm sure whatever team Martin decides to pick will be a very effective one on the day.
Does it sort of show you how fickle football is in the modern age, that Karanka lost his job when they were just touching the playoffs?
I think again, you know, you're getting into other stuff where we don't know the politics of clubs, and fans don't. You know, these are stuff that go on behind the scenes now in terms of transfer policies, player recruitment. Nowadays, there's recruitment people in clubs that are bringing players in for managers, and sometimes the manager's saying, I didn't want the player, and there's so much goes on. I don't know what goes on at Notts Forest. It's certainly not my business to even say. I'm not putting Notts Forest in any particular position like that. But in my world, managers lose their jobs far too quick now. But that's the nature of the game we're in. We all know what the rules are. So I think speaking about it or trying to do something about it, certainly not the way for me as Wigan manager. you know, concentrate on trying to do our best for what we started the season to try and achieve, which is staying in the division. I think as everyone sees, the teams, the depth of strength in the Championship now is strong, and it's getting stronger, that's for sure. So we've got to improve. We've got to improve as staff, as players, you know, off the field, as a club, because if we want to take steps forward and go up to areas that we're not being this season, apart from the first 5 or 6 games, then it's going to be a big challenge for everyone.
Finally, for me, any injury concerns for tomorrow?
And the game tomorrow, that's a good question. We've had a tough week. Obviously, Griggy's out, Pilkington hasn't trained all week. Powley's had a little setback, Gavin Massey's obviously. So again, do you know, it's let's get on with it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than go through who's fit and who's not fit, let's go over to Nottingham Forest and let's put a display on as similar to the Aston Villa one as we can, and hopefully come back with the 3 points for our supporters.